Hello, everybody. Fiona Lukey's here for my Friday live Q&A. Where are we? Friday, the 5th of August. Coming to you live like I do at approximately this time every Friday. I'm sorry, I still don't sound like myself. I still have a bit of a head cold, so my apologies if my voice sounds a bit weird. But I'm excited to be with you today on this beautiful Friday afternoon, Thursday evening for those of you who are in the US and Canada, and basically the middle of the night if you're in Europe and the UK. But if you have just joined me and you are tuning in, as always, feel free to say hi. I always like to know who's listening and who's out there and where you're listening from. And of course, if you have a question, please feel free to ask and I will do my very best to answer it for you. Hi, Kelvin. Hi. Oh, my goodness. It is the middle of the night for you. I know that you are in the UK. So it is either very, very late or very, very early. So thank you for saying hi. Hi, Daryl. Nice to see you. Just a reminder, Beck. Hey, Beck. Hi. Wow. Hello. Oh, there's people I haven't spoken to for a little while jumping on and saying hi. How lovely. This is a Q&A. So you can ask me anything that you like, absolutely anything at all, and I will do my absolute best to answer it. I have had people email me saying, I don't know how you do it, Fiona. You just go live and you let anyone ask you any kind of questions. And I sort of said, well, I've been doing this for such a long time, and I don't mean to say, wow, does that mean I'm amazing? But I think I've dealt with just about any and every situation you can possibly imagine. So I'm really want to be of service here. So throw anything you got my way and I will do my best. Doesn't mean I'm going to nail it or nail it every time, but I will absolutely do my best because I know this is an area I'm so passionate about, and I just know the quality of our relationships determines the quality of our life. It just does. So, I want to do whatever I can to help because a lot of people are struggling out there and a lot of people are suffering in their relationships. Okay. There is just an incredible amount of suffering in the world around our relationships. And as you've heard me say previously, there are three main areas to our relationships. Okay. And when you think about it, because of these three areas, it means we are always in a relationship with something all of the time. At any given moment of the day, one of these three things, or even all of these three things, or a couple of these three things is at play, right? There's your relationship with you. Now, that relationship, and I hear this time and time again with people who do my Relatable program or end up becoming private clients of mine. They say this to me all the time. Oh, my goodness, Fiona, I started working with you because I wanted to fix relationship A, whether it be with their partner or with their child, or whether they want to work more harmoniously with the next partner so that they can co-parent well, whatever it might be. And I've discovered that actually what this is about me. It's my relationship with me. It's how I relate to me. It's how I feel about me. And I've learned so much. I actually have had a beautiful week with feedback and some of the things that people have shared with me this week that I've been so deeply moved by. I've been moved to tears by some of the things that people have shared. I've had a lady who's been in my Relatable program for a while who started the program at war with her in-laws, like was ready to get divorced over it. So at war with her in-laws. They didn't like her. She didn't like them. Her husband and children would go and visit her in-laws without her. There was a lot of upset and stress and tension. It was putting tension on the marriage, tension on everything. And she said to me last week that her mother-in-law had come up to her just recently and asked her to call her mum. I was just blown away. Her mother-in-law had come up to her after them not speaking, after they'd be at a netball match or whatever, a sports match together, and no one would speak to each other. The mother-in-law had come up to her and called her by her nickname, which is a term of endearment in itself, and then asked if she would call them mum and dad. Like, mind-blowing. And this lady is the only one who's done the work. This is where I want you to know that you have a lot more power to create change than you can ever possibly understand. Okay? I'm privileged enough to hear story after story like this all the time. It's amazing. Peter. Hi, Peter. Hello. Peter from Brisbane. Yes, I know. I saw you on the call the other night. You've just found the program and getting so much from it already. Awesome. Wonderful. Thanks so much for saying hi, Peter. I love it. Hello, Carly. Hello, darling. Thank you for saying hello. I love that. How do you know the difference between having a gut feel about something or someone, a gut feeling about something or someone compared to reacting to a thought causing an emotion? Great question. And I will answer that in just a moment, Peter. Really great question. Hello, Rose from Northern California. Hello there. Thank you so much for saying hi. So lovely to see you. And anyone else out there that wants to say hi to me, feel free to jump on board and say hello. I do love knowing where you are, and I do love the community that we create when people see that people are tuning in from all different parts of the world and that we can all be together in this one moment of time. Isn't that incredible that we can be in completely different parts of the world, yet we can all come together for this one moment of time and share this experience? I just find that truly, truly amazing. Truly amazing. Hi, Trina. Hello. Thanks for saying hi. Whereabouts are you in the world? Would be really curious to know. Okay. So Peter's question is, how do you know the difference between having a gut feel about something compared to reacting to a thought that's maybe not that healthy or trustworthy? Is basically what Peter's saying. Now, this is a really major part of what I teach. A really major part of what I teach, because this one misunderstanding that Peter's pointing to has broken down more families, more relationships, had people go to very dark places within themselves than anything else. Okay. When you learn how to navigate your thinking, your human frailties, because we all have them, being human and having frailties go hand in hand. You can't avoid it, and you can't personal development that stuff away. Okay. Having human frailties is as normal as having weather patterns. All right. Totally normal. Nothing to be frightened of. Does not mean there's anything wrong with you or that you're broken or you need fixing or any of those things. But you do need to understand that this is really normal. And what you need to learn how to do is not change it, fix it, or manage it, but navigate it. Okay. When you know how to navigate your own human frailties, guess what? That is a skill, and I do call it a skill, yet it's a skill developed by an understanding of how we work. But when you develop that skill, because you can navigate your own, you can navigate anybody else's, literally anybody else's. Now imagine having that skill where you can navigate anybody's frailties. Imagine what that would do for you if you're in a leadership position at work. Imagine what that's like when you're dealing with a toddler or when you're dealing with a moody teenager. Imagine what that's like when you and your partner are at loggerheads and you know how to handle it. Imagine what that's like when you are feeling frightened or struggling and stuck and you know how to navigate your own stuff. Just imagine just that one thing alone, what that would do to change the quality of every interaction in your life, whether it be work, whether it be at home, whether it be with family members. Now, when I shared that story of the lady whose mother-in-law came up to her and said, "Can you call me mum?" That's what she started to learn. Because she wasn't navigating her frailties very well in the beginning. And so, of course, because she wasn't navigating her own very well, she could not navigate anybody else's. Now, when we don't know how to navigate our own or anybody else's frailties, what do? We get angry. We get judgmental. We blame everyone around us. We feel stuck. We can't let things go. Our minds speed up. We get caught in the past and we go over and 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 over things in our minds. We can't shut our heads off. We get overwhelmed. We get caught up in comparing. I would never do that to somebody. How could they do that to me? And we get stuck in that endless loop that doesn't go anywhere. Okay? And we become very, very, very stuck. And then from there, we see that person again. So now we're stuck. Now we're looping. Now we're caught up in judgment. Now we're caught up in overthinking. Now we're caught up in all of that stuff. And then we see that person. What do you think is going to happen? Right? Your energy is going to be off. You're going to show up with the worst of you coming forward. You're going to show up from a place of frailty. Okay? And again, frailties are not wrong. They're nothing for you to be ashamed of. We all have them. I have them. Okay? They're nothing for you to be ashamed of. Human frailties are a natural, normal part of being human. It's just that we've been taught to be ashamed of them. which I find a travesty of. I really do. I find that it is so unhelpful, because people who are living in a feeling of shame really don't do so well in life in general, right? Okay. We worry about what other people think. We're not really great at taking ownership over stuff. We get lost in our thinking. We're fearful. Okay. When you no longer feel ashamed of your human frailties, and we've all got them, like there is not a person on this planet who doesn't have them. Gandhi, the Pope, the Queen of England, okay? Everybody's got them. Why? Because it comes with the territory of being human. But what we're taught is that we have to hide from them. We need to be ashamed of them. We need to manage them. We need to change them. We need to fix them. You can't do that. And all that does is leave you feeling frustrated and disempowered, and in a feeling of hopelessness and helplessness, which is what I hear with people all the time. And then they think that must mean because there's something wrong with them, or they're in a relationship with the wrong person. No, they just haven't been taught how human frailties work and how to navigate them. Okay? Once you know that, okay, because I'm talking about something that's inherently human, guess what? You know how to navigate yours, you know how to navigate everybody's. Doesn't mean you're going to do it perfectly every time. No, but that's not what we're aiming for, right? Again, when you come from a place of knowing, when you come from a place of understanding, conflict disappears. Goodwill steps in. People feel calmer. People start to like themselves more. That's another thing that a beautiful story that a client of mine, and I'm going to come back to your question, Peter, a beautiful story that a client of mine that I've been working with for the last, I don't know how long we've been working together now, maybe 3 weeks, he said to me during the week, it was quite beautiful. I was quite touched. He was sharing with me a story about how much his mind had slowed down because his head was going so fast all of the time. And he said to me, Fiona, my last weekend felt like it went for 4 days instead of 2. I can't believe it. I felt like the weekend went for double the time. I realized I have been going rushing from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing my whole life. Rush, sped up mind, doing this. And he said, I've been so reactionary and so short-tempered, and I just haven't been able to handle anything because I've been going so fast. He said, my mind has slowed down. He said, I was coming home from work the other day, and this is what happens when your mind slows down, okay? So I was coming home from work the other day, and it occurred to me, because this is what happens, you get fresh thinking, and you get thinking that's much higher level. When I say higher level, I mean more philosophical, kinder, compassionate, loving, curious, open. That's more focused on the whole rather than the individual. Okay. And he said, and I got this idea to make my wife a mini herb garden. So I picked all the materials up, went home and made it for her as a surprise. And he said, I got so much pleasure out of it. So much enjoyment. And he said, I'm noticing things now. I get pleasure out of things. You can't get pleasure out of anything when you're going at a million miles an hour. And I'm like, I know, exactly. Right. He said, I stood back and this thought occurred to me. Hey, you're not such a bad bloke, are you? And then this other thought crossed my mind. Hey, I kind of like myself right now. And then he said to me, I realized that I don't know that I've ever felt that way about myself. Or if I do, I can't remember the last time I felt that way about myself, that I thought I was a nice bloke and that I liked myself. And he said, I just can't believe the difference. And you think a simple thing like your mind slowing down has such a massive impact on our level of enjoyment and well-being in life, and then how we show up, and then what we see and how we respond, and the type of thinking we get access to, right? So important, and so helpful in our relationships. So now that I've said that, Peter, how do you know the difference between having a gut feel about something or someone compared to reacting to a thought causing an emotion? Well, they have a very different feeling. Okay. When we're in reaction mode, there is a different feeling in the body compared to when we are having an insight, or we're seeing things from a more philosophical point of view. They feel completely different. So you know by the feeling you're in. Okay. The feeling will tell you how to know that. All right. And so, this is why in the beginning of the program and other things, I'm teaching you how to recognize the shade of feeling in yourself so you know what they mean for you and how you're showing up. So it is the feeling that will always tell you every time. Kelvin, what happens when our partner is judging us and doesn't want to be with us because of that judgment? What should one do? Well, I guess the most important thing is to show up without an agenda, Kelvin. So many people, especially in the early days when I'm working with them, have an agenda and they show up loaded with an agenda. If you have an agenda, which is, I've got to change their mind. I need them to see my point of view. I need them to understand. I need them to do this. I need. Okay. If you show up with an agenda, that will get you nowhere. You have to show up with no agenda and nothing on it. When you do that, you're able to bring a level of neutrality and curiosity and have a really different conversation, but only if they will allow it. Okay. You can't force someone to do something they don't want to do. Okay. You can't force someone to do something they don't want to do. And just because you don't agree with it, and again, it's important for everybody to remember this, doesn't give you the right to go in and say, I need to change their mind. Okay. You've got to be respectful of where people are at. But if there is an opportunity for you to be in each other's presence, and I don't know if there is, okay, you've got to be able to show up with no agenda so that there is space for them to have fresh thinking, for something else to show up between the two of you. But if you're constantly trying to convince them of something, you will get nowhere. Okay, you've probably heard the saying, what you resist persists. Okay, what you resist persists, and there's a heck of a lot of truth to that saying. So it's really, really important, the amount of neutrality that you can bring to something, and we are a lot more capable of neutrality than anyone ever appreciates about themselves. Everybody is, regardless of what's happened. You are all capable of it, especially when you understand how to navigate your humanness. All right, you actually find that you've got bandwidth and choice and the amazing capacity to do that in a way that people that literally blows people away. People are constantly shocked at what they're actually capable of. Okay, amazed actually, and this does wonders for our self-esteem and our levels of confidence. Okay, because you're like, wow, I can handle this. Wow, I am remaining calm throughout this. Wow, I am actually doing this. I never thought I was capable of it. And you're not doing it because you're a volcano about to explode, standing on a whole heap of resentment and frustration. It is truly, truly how you feel. It's truly, truly how you're showing up. Okay, it's you touching something inside yourself that you didn't know was there. And everybody has this capacity. Everybody, because it's a human being thing. So that would be my response to that. I hope that makes sense, Kelvin. Let me know if it does. My pleasure, Peter. I hope that was helpful. So anybody else before, how long have we been talking? Okay, close to 20 minutes. So if anybody else has a question or anything they want to ask me, or if you've just joined and you want to say hi, feel free to do so. Love to hear from where you are in the world, and what country you're listening from. I know there's a lot of you from New Zealand that tune in, and we get people from California, from Canada. At the moment, I've got people from the UK, California, Canada, New Zealand, obviously Australia, different states of Australia that I know are listening right now. So if you do have a question, feel free to ask me. Now, I do have a question that has been sent in to me. Where is it? Let me find it. 1 second. I'll just look that up. And this is a question that gets asked of me quite a bit. So I thought I'd answer it here. And the question is, hi, Fiona, I've been in a relationship with my partner for 6 years. I was emotionally unavailable for her for so much of that due to my own personal battles. I'm making all the necessary changes now, and I finally understand the meaning of being a masculine man and learning how to control my emotions and be that rock. However, she says she is done, that she is so happy for the changes I'm actively making and the next person will benefit from it. Is there a way for us to come back from this? Look, it's a great question. And I appreciate you asking it because I know that this is a question that a lot of people want to know. And I think, hey, Cecily, hello, darling. Hi. Thanks for saying hi. Must be very early in the morning because I know you're in Norway, right? This is a very, very common question. And I guess that there's a couple of things here to the person who's asked this question. One of the things you are up against is the fact that you probably started to see or listen differently or wake up to what was where things were at. And I say that respectfully, not disrespectfully, after she had said she was done. Okay. So in that situation, if you are in this situation, and I know this can be the other way where it's the male saying that and the female, so it's not just this is not just something that happens to men, it happens both ways. What you're up against in that moment is their frustration that it took them to get to this point for you to get it. Okay, that's what you're up against. That's the first thing, is their frustration around that, and they're upset around that because normally when someone is checked out, they have been sending you a message for years. So this is very important. Anyone listening right now, if you are in a relationship where your partner has been trying to get a message across to you about how they're feeling and you're not getting it and you're not listening, please understand this. I get heartbroken people coming to me all the time who feel blindsided. I didn't realize that was so serious. I didn't get the seriousness of it. I wish I'd realized it because now I'm realizing what I need to do and now I'm getting it, but they're not interested. When someone checks out, it's because they've done all the grieving, okay, beforehand to get to the point where they've checked out. They've been grieving the loss of that relationship for a very, very long time. And so they will do the grieving whilst they are in the relationship. And then they get to the point where they're done. Now, I have worked with and helped people who thought they were done and they weren't. But please understand, and that's an energetic thing that I can normally feel when I start talking to someone. I can feel energetically if someone is done or not, or if the door is open. Because some people will think they're done, but energetically their energy is saying something else. Okay, and I can pick up on that and feel it. But some people I will meet energetically, I can feel they are done. Now, if that person is done, they're done. There is nothing you can do because you can turn anything around. That the potential of that is always there. However, people have to want to do this. People have to want. Now, the want is not on me. All right, you got to bring the want. You bring the want, I'll help you handle the rest. But if the want isn't there, if people are genuinely done, then even though you may have just had an epiphany, okay, and you've woken up and you've gotten it and you're like, oh my goodness, I get it now. Just because you've had that epiphany, you have to be respectful of where the other person is at. And the one thing that you want to have an appreciation of is that if you are having an epiphany, and to me, an epiphany feels like you're waking up from a deep sleep, because so many of us are asleep at the wheel. We really are. We're asleep at the wheel. And that probably sounds patronizing and disparaging, and I don't mean it. I honestly don't. I was asleep at the wheel for many years. Okay. I feel so grateful that I'm awake. Now, when I say awake, that doesn't mean better than, it doesn't mean superior to, not at all. It just means I get to see life in a really different way. And I would love everyone to have that opportunity because it feels amazing. And your level of resilience to handle the things that life throws your way are amazing. Okay. So this is something that I have immense gratitude around for any number of reasons in my life. Okay. So when I say I'm awake, that doesn't mean, oh, you're asleep, I'm better than you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just grateful that I see things differently. I feel alive. I'm present. I'm connected. Does it make me a perfect human? Of course not. We're all imperfectly perfect. We're all human beings with a lot of frailties doing the best we can. All right. And we all suffer from foot and mouth disease at different times. We all get reactionary. We're all incredibly moody. Oh, yes, we are. Some more than others, but that doesn't make anyone less or worse, just the way it is. So it's it's really important to understand that if someone is done, you need to be respectful of that. You can't push. If you are someone who's woken up because someone has changed the dynamic of the relationship that you were in, if they've walked out, if they've said, I'm enough, I've had enough, be grateful for the fact that event has triggered you to have the opportunity to wake up. Because even if that relationship doesn't work out, you've woken up, which is a gift in of itself. Because being awake and understanding what's going on and feeling present and moving through life with more ease and grace and humility and joy and compassion and understanding. And yeah, these might sound like highfalutin things. This is what regularly shows up in people's lives. You got to see that as the greatest thing that's ever happened to you. And sometimes it's through some of our most difficult scenarios that we wake up the most. Okay, we get the gift of that. So if you are in a situation where someone is trying to tell you something and you're not listening, if you don't wake up now, you will find that that person will out of nowhere turn around and say to you, I'm done. I get people coming to me in this situation every single day, devastated. So if someone is trying to tell you something and you're getting defensive and you're not listening, stop. Do whatever you can to deal with your own stuff. Do my program. It's brilliant. It will help you with that. But don't wait too long, because once someone is done, it is much harder to turn that around. And if they're really done, there's nothing you can do. Nothing. Except be grateful for the fact that they have created a scenario in your life where you got the opportunity to wake up. I hope that helps answer that question. Hi, Nick. Hi. Hi, Fiona. Vicky and I are listening in. Hi, Vicky. Nice to meet you. You both have COVID. Oh, I'm so sorry. And it's a rainy day in Coffs Harbour. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you've both got COVID. COVID was, COVID. I got COVID in April. It was, very challenging. But anyway, I hope this is helpful, and thanks so much for listening in, and thanks so much for saying hi. You got a lovely man there, Vicky. I really I like Nick. Lovely, lovely guy. He's really wonderful on the calls. He contributes so much. Beautiful man. Kelvin, my pleasure. My pleasure, Rose. Okay, well, we are almost at the end of time. So I just want to check in if anybody else has any questions or anything else that you want to know. Obviously, I'm going to put the link here to my online program, Relatable. If you're on the fence about Relatable, just do it. It's awesome. You'll love it. Everybody does. And you've got 2 weeks to try it out. And if you get to the 2 weeks and you feel that it's not for you, then I will give you your money back, no questions asked. Okay? That just isn't something that seems to happen. So, but that's the way it works. So if you want to find out what I'm talking about, if you want to have this understanding in your life, and believe me, it will help you. If you're overthinking, if you struggle to deal with your moods, if you are struggling with a situation at work or in-laws or a parenting issue, like I said, it doesn't matter the relationship, the solution is the same. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you for your comment, Kelvin. I really appreciate that. If you have a question, send it through to hello@fionalukis.com.au and I will answer it for you next Wednesday at approximately this time. I wish you all a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week ahead, and sending you lots and lots and lots of love. Thank you all, everybody. And yes, I know this has helped you with your kids, Rose. Absolutely, 100%. All right, everyone. Take care, everyone. Lots of love to you. Ciao.